I did so many college shows when I first started. It was like, that was like the thing. It was like NACA. And I was just like doing shows at like noon, at 7 p.m., noon again. It was like, it was so insane. And I'd go everywhere. Just anytime they called me, I would go, yeah, I'll go there. The routing was absolutely insane. It'd be like North Dakota, North Carolina, South Carolina, Connecticut, North Carolina.
Oh my gosh.
And my dad, who's a salesman, was like, you're not making any money. I was like, you don't understand comedy. I'm paying my dues. He's like, you can't pay any bills this way. And I was like, it doesn't matter. You don't get it. And then I did not know this. But then my dad called my college agent without me knowing and screamed at him and told him he was going to send him a map. And then the college agent called me and goes, I do not represent your father.
Now, introducing Full Out with Brittany Ross.
Has it started recording? Yeah. Okay, we started recording.
Oh, we did. I got to spit out my gum.
Oh, do you want to spit out your gum?
Yeah, maybe I'll
give it a tissue.
Like a mom, you have to spit your gum into a tissue on camera. Yeah. That's the clip that we're going to use. I'm just
Let's start with me. Here I am spitting out gum. Perfect.
This is what people want to see.
Oh wow, this is
full service. Full out
service. I love it.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
We match, by the way. We look good.
I know we do. We look like we're just came from like our Levi's Western,
like
our
East Coast hang.
Catalog
Double
shoot.
RL, yeah.
I remember when we first were talking about the podcast, I was talking to Jen. We have our shared friend, Jen.
Our shared friend, Jen Zabrowski.
Jen Zabrowski.
You say her last name.
And we should say her last name. And I was like, do you think Dan has like a pre-life Full Out story? She's like, Dan only has ever done stand-up. He hasn't done anything else before stand-up.
Jen and I went to college together. I did not study abroad because I was like, I don't want to not do stand-up. That's looking
great.
Back was so dumb. All of my friends went to a castle in Amsterdam. And I was like, no, I'm going to stick around. I got Dick Doherty's Comedy Vault spots on Sundays. And Howard Johns is doing an open mic. I can't miss out. So I did not do anything. I just stayed in Boston and
that is
only
so
comedy.
Funny. I did not know you didn't go to the. Okay,
I took summer classes to graduate early to do comedy. Like that's I was like, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of this place where I only do comedy to do more comedy.
I took summer classes to get out of Hawaii so that I could move to LA and act sooner. So I graduated in 3.5 years because I thought I was going to be too old when I got here.
Why would you leave Hawaii?
So I could come play 14-year-olds for 10 more years on television.
True. That makes sense.
I was like,
smart.
I'm getting too old for 14. And
do you regret, though, leaving Hawaii?
No, because I was also cheering and like I feel like it was getting a little dark and like a little weirdly, I feel like I had some of my darkest days in paradise, you know? So, like, I feel like I had...
depressed cheerleader?
Yeah, depressed cheerleader. I had, like, a bad eating disorder that I knew I needed to get over. I came to L.A. to rehab my eating disorder.
With more comedy podcasts.
This is a funny podcast.
This is a ha-ha one.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I got to leave this place. And I feel like... LA seemed like a healthier alternative to where I was, which
if
is
you have
so
an eating
sad.
disorder and you want to get over it, the one place to definitely move is Los Angeles, California.
I know. I do feel like I moved here and spent a year getting over my eating disorder, and I did, which is so funny looking back to be like in LA, that's where I like got over my eating disorder. So anyways, you can do anything, you guys.
You can really do it all. You can leave
anything.
Hawaii with an eating disorder and come to LA and play a 14-year-old. Mostly because you had an eating disorder. You looked that young. So really,
because I stunted my growth.
You stunted your growth.
So
really,
time.
you need to actually. Thank God you had an eating disorder in Hawaii.
Yeah, or I wouldn't have had a career when I got here.
You never got on the middle.
I would never have been on the middle
No
if
way.
I didn't do that to myself in Hawaii. Yeah. Anyways, everything works out how it's supposed to.
Yeah, now here we are. She has got a great leopard rug. It all worked out. Things are going well.
Yeah, things are going really well. Wait, I feel like I went to school in Hawaii, but all of my friends went to Emerson with you.
Yes.
But you and I had never met for years.
Forever.
Way too long, where I know so much about you that I was like, I feel like I am your stalker? Because everybody has crazy stories about Dan Levy calling him because his car broke down. Will you come pick me up 3 hours away? Like the amount of like.
That's the Jen story. What happened was I drove to do a show in Monterey, California with my grandfather's Volvo, which I took to LA. And I drove there and with my brother, and it died in Monterey. And they would charge me. So I don't know nothing
which is
about
like
cars.
4 hours away.
It's 5 hours away.
5 hours away.
Yeah. And they said it's going to cost you like $5,000. I'm like, well, you got to keep the car. So then I went back to LA with my brother, and then they're like, hey, the car's ready. And I had my dad. My dad called, and we negotiated with this guy. My dad's also bad with cars. And it wasn't a good situation, but I went back to get the car, and I was like, Jen, we're 22. We have nothing going on. You want to drive to Monterey with me? And she's like, yeah. We drive all the way to Monterey. It's 5 hours, this long drive. We get there. We get my car. I'm like, all right, Jen, this was such a fun road trip. See you later. And I get in my car. It doesn't start. And then I go, wait, Jen, don't leave. And then we drove back to North Hollywood together. And she's like, all right. We just spent 10 hours in the car together for no reason.
That's so fun though. Like looking
fun.
back on that, you're like, I feel like now having kids and like being older, it's like the fact that you could just spend 10 hours in the car with your friend.
Oh my God. 10 hours just like doing whatever you want to do.
Yes.
It was so dumb and we weren't even thinking about it. But yeah, we just had 10 hours in the car, Monterey and back. Did not bring my car back. And then I ended up having to fly to Santa Barbara and have the weird mechanic pick me up because Jen obviously was like, I'm not going to Monterey ever again. And then I had this weird mechanic pick me up named Teddy. And he drove me to the mechanic shop. And then I charged my credit card with whatever they said I owed them at that point. And then I just drove home. And then about a year later, the car died.
Oh my gosh. Wait, I didn't even know you could fly to Santa Barbara from LA. That's such a short flight.
It was a 10-minute flight. I lost so much money doing that terrible show in Monterey, by the way.
Gosh.
And the other funny thing about that show is I went there with my brother, who was like 19 then, and he drove with me all the way there in this Volvo. And he was like, at least we'll go to this fun show. And then I show up, and they're like, oh, he's not 21, he can't go. So then he had like stay in the shitty hotel by himself in Monterey. Anyways, we have fun.
I feel like everybody has a story about you like that, though. Like, I feel like Alex picked you up. So
Another great story is our friend.
good friend, Alex Fox, who's been on this podcast.
She's great.
Yeah.
And we also went to college together. We met first day of school. And she lived in Chicago. And I was doing a show in Naperville. And I was like, Alex, you want to pick me up at the airport and drive me to Naperville? And she's like, sure. I have nothing to do. Again, we're like 22.
Yeah.
Maybe 23. And then she picks me up. We drive to like a terrible snowstorm, do a terrible show. And then I came back.
Naperville is also just like a suburb. Like, it's so funny that you like flew to do a show in Naperville because I went to high school in Buffalo Grove, and it's really close. My boyfriend was in Naperville. It's like 40 minutes away. So I spent a lot of time in Naperville, and it's basically just like a suburban town.
Yeah, I don't even remember the college, but I was there. And I did the show, and it was like I did so many college shows when I first started. It was like that was like the thing. It was like NACA, and I was just like doing shows at like noon, at 7 p.m., noon again. It was like amazing. It was so insane, and I'd go everywhere. Just anytime they called me, I would go. Yeah, I'll go there. The routing was absolutely insane. It'd be like North Dakota, North Carolina, South Carolina, Connecticut, North Carolina.
Oh my gosh.
And my dad, who's a salesman, was like, you're not making any money. I was like, you don't understand comedy. I'm paying my dues. He's like, you can't pay any bills this way. And I was like, it doesn't matter. You don't get it. And then I did not know this. But then my dad called my college agent without me knowing and screamed at him and told him he was going to send him a map. And then the college agent called me and goes, I do not represent your father. And I was like, what's happening?
Oh my God. You didn't even know that he called.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that he called. I feel like my mom is similar to that and like would call behind my back. Also, when I first started acting here, people thought I was actually so young. I remember I broke up with one agent and they called my mom in Texas to be like, she's making 30. A huge mistake. And my mom's like, I don't even know what you're talking about. She's been out of my house for 12 years. She's married. Call her husband. Your dad calling is incredible.
Yeah, that was really fun. And then that night, one of the stories with me and Alex Fox is I went back to her apartment and then I started washing my face. And I laid back down and I go, God, my face stings, and then she realized that I wash my face with shaving cream. And that was a great moment for us. To this day, we always reference that.
Imagine Alex laughing about that.
We're laughing so hard because it was like, what is wrong with you? And I was like, I don't know. I need some guidance. I need some life help. But,
oh my gosh. No, it's so funny. I do feel like I have a lot of Emerson people in my life that I like to pretend like I went to Emerson. So sometimes I'll just, when everybody's talking about Emerson, I'll just be like, guys, remember when Dan Levy, like
you were in Hawaii throwing up in a bathroom.
And then all of a sudden they'll be like, wait, what? No, but if I started with like, remember when Dan Levy did this? They're like, everybody buys it as if I went there.
That's so funny. Yeah, all of us are here. We all came here.
That's
why I moved to LA, because all of my college friends all moved here. Like a lot of people, moved to New York City to start stand-up, but we just all came out here. And
you were doing stand-up. But were you doing it before Emerson?
I was doing it a little bit before Emerson, but I really started doing it for real when I got there and there was open. The dorm was next to a comedy club. So we would just go every single night to these.
But were you doing
clubs.
It with people, other people?
I met this comedian, Dan Mintz, who I still see. I met him on the first night of the open mic. So I would see him all the time.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So we'd go to like the comedy studio, Dick Doherty's Comedy Vaults. And then I was just like, friendly with whoever the Boston comics were at the time.
That's so cool.
And they're all pretty nice to me. Like I met Gary Goldman right before he moved to LA.
Oh,
Eugene
cool.
Merman was there when we first started. Kevin Knox, who unfortunately died. Mm-hmm. But like Robbie Prince, all these like real Boston guys.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And then what were you majoring in?
That's a good question. I was majoring in visual media arts, which is basically communications. Okay. So I was taking like film classes and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we really just we were in a comedy troupe. It was a lot of just comedy. We go to our classes, but then it was all about the extracurricular activities at Emerson. Even when we got there, it was like that's what they said to us. They're like, just go and just do everything that you could do here.
Yeah, I feel like that's what everybody talks about too. It's like they were all in a comedy troupe or this or that or whatever.
I took one math class at Emerson. Me and Alex Fox, because we did not, do well enough in math in high school that we had to take the Emerson math class, which was like taught by like a clown. It was insane. And I remember there was like one kid behind us who was just always just eating Vicodin. Like that was like
gosh.
The math I learned was like how many pills of Vicodin he will actually ingest before he passes out. That was the only equation I was trying to figure out. Yeah, college math. He was amazing. He was like, just chew it. It hits you faster.
Oh,
and I was
my
like, you're the one
gosh.
only doing it in this class. But it was
so funny.
It was a good time.
I took Vicodin one year on New Year's Eve when I was like in 8th grade, and we drank with it when my parents went out. We like took one of my Vicodin from my wrist surgeries and then like
from your wrist surgeries. How many wrist surgeries did you have?
I had a lot of wrist surgeries.
What? Why?
Because I was tumbling a lot.
Okay.
And I broke my wrists, but then pretended like they weren't broken because I didn't want to have to sit out, and just kept tumbling with broken wrists because that's the kind of insane. You would have done it too, like knowing your personality.
Yeah, that was you. Not want to sit.
That's your version of like just
going. Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. So you were cheering with a broken wrist.
Yeah, too. I broke the growth plates in my wrists, though. So my wrists have not grown since 7th grade. So if you look at my arm is...
Wait, what? No. We gotta stop the podcast.
We actually haven't talked about this on the podcast
gotta take
at
you to
all.
urgent care. You have baby wrists?
I do, and it's weird if I'm wearing a sweater, if it's like, I don't know if you can see this. Okay, so say it's only pulled up to there.
Yeah.
That looks really small, right?
Yeah.
Like my arm is small, but it gets like weirdly small, like at my wrist. Like because
oh wow, yeah, your wrists are very small.
Yeah, I can't have like normal size bracelets and stuff like that. Like everything.
So you were just cheering with broken wrists.
Cheering with broken wrists.
2 broken wrists? Both?
2 broken wrists. And the only reason I stopped was because I stopped being able to land things, and I was so mad that I was falling because I had broken wrists. And so then I went to the doctor, and they're like, "Okay, you broke both the growth plates in your wrists," and I had to have surgery.
Oh my!
On my wrist.
So here's my question: when you're a cheerleader and you're that competitive and you're going that hard, what is the plan? Like, what's the goal?
Yeah.
What's the goal?
Yeah.
You don't know.
There's
no goal.
Okay, so
because when you are basketball player or a football player.
Yes.
You're trying to go pro.
I'm kidding. There is a goal. So basically, college nationals is the end of the road.
Okay.
Really was the end of the road when I was doing it. Now they've made some like other teams that like you're allowed to be on forever. But that's why nobody in college actually graduated, because you don't want to leave. It's the Olympics. It's like the end of the road. So you need to be in college to be able to compete. But it's not regulated by the NCAA. So there's zero regulations on how long you can stay in college.
How long do cheerleaders stay in college?
My first stunt partner when I was 18, freshman in college, was 27.
What? That's not okay. Someone call Hawaii.
That was I went to University of Houston for 1 semester and then I transferred. But then some people were like 30. Like basically you stay in your school. And since we were on a scholarship, we had to like maintain a certain GPA and whatever and course load. And then once you go to nationals, you drop all your classes.
Whoa.
And then they just like either if everybody thinks you have the good people and your team's going to win again the next year, you stay there or you transfer to another school. So you would go to nationals back in my day when I was doing it. And you get these crazy huge like Super Bowl style rings. And the guys would just have necklaces full of all their championship rings.
Whoa.
Because they just like been in it for so long.
Because they're 50.
Yeah. And that's why like there's people who are like my sister's first boyfriend, who was already older than me, is now, so when we were 21, there was this 5-year-old girl who was really good. She was like a phenom at cheerleading, and he was her coach. They're married now.
No. What is this podcast? What's happening? I thought we were telling funny stories about our childhood. Oh my God. That's dark.
They got married, I think, when she was 21. She is like a baby. Like, I don't know. Yeah, it's
weird.
like a lot of that kind of stuff. So anyways,
so,
back to
me
comedy
and
at
comedy
Emerson.
in
That's
Emerson.
why I'm like, why didn't I go to Emerson? This feels a lot more like cheery and fun than like where I was.
Yes, not a lot of coaches dating 5-year-olds anorexics, but there's probably some of that, but a different version of it. Like
version.
An improv teacher who finds a 5-year-old in Boston Common is like, you got what it
It's
takes.
like, you're hilarious, kid. No, I feel like she wasn't 5 when they got married.
Okay,
to
good.
like
Just to
say
be
she
clear,
was
just to be
21,
clear, she's
but he'd
21.
known her since she was 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways,
But
back to
before that, the only other thing that I was very into, because I really was like just so focused on comedy
Yeah.
my whole life. Even my bar mitzvah theme was stand-up comedy.
No, how do you do that as a theme?
It was just like every table was a comedy club. I wasn't doing comedy then, but so I didn't even do comedy at my bar mitzvah. But
Wait, it was a comedy club. It wasn't even like a comic that you loved.
No, it wasn't
every
even like
table.
Richard Pryor. It was literally like Caroline's, Stand Up New York, Catch a Rising Star. Like, I mean, my parents didn't know anything about any of that, so they just like looked up like what are comedy clubs. They're like, here you
That
are,
is
and it was
so
Dan's. It was
funny.
Dan's Comedy Club. That was the thing you walked in. It was pretty awesome.
That's cool.
It was very cool.
It's unique.
Very unique.
I'd love to hear another kid who did that.
Yeah, I do know that Brett Gelman, the comedian who's on Stranger Things, his bar mitzvah theme was David Letterman, just in
Okay.
general, which was so funny.
That is so
But that's
funny.
the only other bar mitzvah theme that seemed close to just straight up stand-up comedy.
Stand-up comedy. That's
It's
amazing.
very specific.
I love that your parents went with that. That's so
yeah.
cool. Okay,
I was so into A&E Evening at the Improv. Like, that was like my favorite show ever. So that's why I just love stand-up so much.
that's so funny.
Yeah.
Marco learned English listening to stand-up.
Yes.
Which is also so funny to me
That's
to
the
be like,
weirdest thing.
he was so into it that young that he like learned English from it.
Did he know all the comedians or just like the lines that they would say?
No, he was really into like Ray Romano,
Oh, that's so
and he
funny.
was into oh my gosh, Bill Cosby,
That's okay.
and he was into
No one knew then.
Seinfeld. So he like would listen to those and like learn English.
That's so funny.
It's so funny, yeah. But before you were into stand up, what did you want to do? What was the thing
Well,
that
I
you
was
went to?
always into. I did comedy like and musical theater stuff like forever. That was what That was what I did. So I did a lot of like musical theater. I did improv, and then I got really into rollerblading. That was like
Oh
my
my
big
gosh.
thing. Yeah. So
Wait,
I've talked about,
where's your family?
I'm from Stamford, Connecticut.
Okay.
So there's like a lot of hockey players in Connecticut. So people started like rollerblading, and it was like the time of the mid '90s. The famous movie Airborne was everywhere. It was a great movie, very specific about rollerblading. It's great. And then we all kind of got really into that. So then I was really into that. Got a wheel sponsor, no big deal.
Wait, what is that?
and
we were doing sponsor.
A wheel sponsor, yeah.
So like your wheels had a sponsor name on them?
Like I think it was Fat Wheels. I forget the name exactly, but they sent me wheels to wear to grind because I was doing stairs and rail slides. You know how it goes.
Amazing.
So I was doing that, but then that kind of led into all of like the music I was listening to during that time, a lot of like pop, punk, and punk, and then I got very into Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I was like, that's it. I'm going to be a bass player.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to be Flea.
Bass player.
I'm doing it. So I told my mom, I was like, I am done with performing in the arts.
Whoa.
I am now going to play bass, and that is what I'm doing. No more musical theater. No more, improv. I am full on bass player. So I went and I got a Yamaha bass, and I got.
Wait, how old were you?
I was like 14.
Okay.
And then I started playing bass, and I had this bass teacher who had just the worst breath you've ever imagined in your life. He was like chain smoke in the car, pound coffee, and come in. He was definitely like, I don't even know where my mom found this guy because there wasn't the internet. So it was just like,
yeah, that's crazy.
It was crazy. This guy would show up, and he was like, come into the basement with me. They close the door, and he'd be like, hey, babe. And I just learned how to play bass. And then, then I was like, that's it. I'm starting a band, obviously. So then me and my friends got together. We could barely play instruments at this point, but we had a band. We called ourselves Carbonated Peanut Butter.
What?
Yes.
What?
I don't know where it came from, but I love peanut butter.
I love peanut butter.
And they love soda, so we kind of brought our minds together and created Carbonated Peanut Butter.
It just sounds disgusting.
Yeah, that's what our name is. Don't ask us why, because we won't tell you. That was a lyric from an actual song. And we never played anywhere except for Jason Piper's basement, because no one could really play. Jason could play drums.
Okay.
I could kind of play the beginning of Longview.
Okay.
And that's kind of where it stopped. And then our friend Jeremy played guitar pretty badly. So it was, but he had a lot of guitars, but he could not play. So we were not a good band, but we were very excited about the possibility of being a band. So then Carbonated Peanut kind of folded because no one could play instruments at all. Then like a year later, I was a little better at bass. And then we brought in our friend John, who actually could play a lot of instruments. And he kind of could play everything. He could play drums, guitar, sing. So we're like, you kind of could do everything.
You're like, you are the band.
You are the band. And I'll write some lyrics and I'll play bass, kind of. And then we played a song.
I'm slowly going back to theater and performing.
Slowly moving back. And then I wrote a song called Schizophrenic Man with a Mustache, which was a really great song.
That's
should have been a hit.
terrifying to me.
If there was Spotify then, I feel like we would have been SoundCloud.
Isn't that scary?
Success.
Like you would have put it out on SoundCloud at that point.
I know. It would have been.
Schizophrenic Man with a Mustache.
Can you imagine if I was like, if you looked me up and you're like, oh, you were the front man for Carbonated Peanut Butter? Like, I was, but you guys don't have songs. We don't. So that was.
You're like, our one friend does though, and
John Ringle. But he played everything, and we recorded some of these songs. And but then he was in like another band, and he obviously was like, I think I'm just gonna focus on the band that they know how to play instruments. And I was like, come on! But I have all the T-shirts. I'm focused on merch.
Oh my gosh!
I was really into that, and then that kind of fizzled. Honestly, by junior year of high school, I kind of put the bass down. Unfortunately, I still could play "Sweet Child of Mine."
Okay.
And "Glycerine."
Okay. Whoa.
and also the beginning of Longview.
Still the beginning of Longview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one time I saw Mike Dirnt at Sunset Tower, and I was like, I should walk over to him and tell him that I can play the beginning of Longview. And I was walking towards him. I go, I'm not going to tell him that.
No.
I was like, hey, the song, I know the beginning kind of that song. I was in a band called Carbonated Peanut Butter based out of Connecticut in the 90s when you guys were rocking and rolling as Green Day.
You should have done that.
I should have done that.
That would be, I feel like so many people probably say stuff to him and he doesn't get that every day.
Yeah, he doesn't get like, hey, I kind of know the beginning of one of your songs.
Yeah. That's so funny. I know. Wow. Okay. So, and then you didn't really play an instrument again. You went back to, you went to comedy?
Yeah, then I was just back into, improv and all that stuff.
Did your
before I went to
friends
college.
in the band go back to something else too?
They kind of stayed in the band. They stayed in the band. They played like garage bands, like, throughout high
Okay.
school and stuff. And one of them, John, I think still plays like for fun. He's a teacher.
Okay.
And he has a good time. But I was kind of very focused. I was like, we need to make it in like a few weeks,
Yeah.
guys. Like we're carbonated peanut butter. And everyone else was a little more realistic with their goals.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
So
you're-
that was kind of the only, I would say I was really focused on that. I was like, I'm going to go all out. I'm going to be the bass player of a punk band. And even though no one knows how to play instruments, I'm going to figure out how to make this work.
I love it.
Yeah.
But I also feel like then going back to stand up and like being like, okay, I'm doing comedy. It's like I can be as delusional as I want to be because I'm alone.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I don't have to like get anybody else on board for
Oh, yeah, no.
my ideas.
The delusion continued with me. And when I first did comedy in Boston, I wore my first show at Dick Dart's Comedy Vault, I wore a blue Adidas jumpsuit, full, like Beastie
Amazing.
Boys, and talked so fast and did not pause for laughter, which was fine because there was no laughter, full silence. And then the next time I was like, I need to get more of an outfit. I went to Marshall's and bought a blue velvet Tommy Hilfiger blazer, extra, extra large, because that's all they had. And then I wore that all the time. And then at one point, I wish there was photos, but I also wish there wasn't. I'm glad there isn't, but I wish there was because the outfits I was wearing. Then at one point, I was at the comedy studio wearing my blue blazer and purple camo pants.
Oh my gosh.
And that's when I started realizing, like, the older comics, every time I would go off stage, they would just make fun of me so hard. Be like, what is it? What are you wearing? Like, just screaming at me.
You're like, I have to be more than just who I am.
Exactly. I need to.
I can't just be myself. I need to be something else.
need to wear
I'm not
purple camo.
enough. I'm not.
Who else is not wearing purple camo? Yeah, I think at one
That's
point
so
I went
fun.
on stage wearing a British tank top.
What is a British tank
a British flag tank top.
A tank
And I
top.
remember people looking at me like, this is the wrong look.
That is so
I was like,
funny.
you're right, I'm not going to do this again.
I feel like getting your look together for stand up when you're in high school is like such a funny, like, you don't think about that because like
Well,
you
you're
don't you
18,
don't really know
yeah.
who you are yet.
No, you're 18. You have no idea what you're doing. You have no
No.
point of view. You're just sort of like just there. And you're just trying things out, which is actually, I'm glad everything wasn't filmed. Like now, there's everyone puts everything up constantly.
Yeah.
And at some point you're going to be like, ugh, and you have to delete it, but you can't because it's out there forever.
Yeah, it is out there forever. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like no, but I do feel like you are a very full out person. Like whatever you decide you're gonna do, you like do it.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. I get very addicted to things. Like I get very into hobbies. When I was, 18, 19, I got very into sneakers. So I was so into collecting sneakers to the point that I was like sleeping outside of Nike Town and,
Oh my gosh.
finding people on the street and making deals with weird guys on the street to get sneakers. And I would wait online off La Tierra, wait online for these grapes, these Jordan grapes. And I wanted them so badly. And I wait online. And I was waiting. And then this guy looks at me and he goes, I can't believe guys brought their burners, because they're going to get these shoes. And I go, yeah, what's burners? And they go, oh, everyone here has guns. And I go, I'm not going to get these shoes then because they're going to just get the gun. Yeah. But I was like so obsessed with it. And then what happened was it just became so popular. And then like StockX and eBay became so easy to get shoes that it wasn't fun anymore because that was the whole point. The whole point was to have shoes that no one else had.
Yes.
Because you have to go certain places to get them that other people wouldn't do. But now everyone just clicks and buys them. So it's not now no one really, anyone who's wearing like, cool sneakers or unlimited sneakers, it's hard to tell like,
How
if they
much dedication they put
if
into
they
that.
actually care or they're just trying to
Yeah.
flex, as the kids say. And then I also did the same thing during the pandemic. I got deep into vintage t-shirts, which actually goes back to my carbonated peanut butter days because I basically got so into collecting vintage shirts and got obsessed with these live auctions online and mostly happening in Thailand that I was negotiating with these like Taiwanese guys back and forth, trying to buy like Operation Ivy t-shirts and like Green Day shirts and Silverchair shirts, like all these shirts. I wasted, I don't want to say waste because a lot of people still collect vintage t-shirts, but the amount of money I spent on t-shirts, like is not okay. It was not okay.
Yeah, but it was giving you something that you needed in the moment.
I needed it so bad. And last night, my daughter came out to say goodnight, and she was wearing one of the shirts that I definitely overpaid for. And I was like, "You're stretching out the neck." And she goes, "I can't help it. It just falls to my shoulder." I go, "No, you're doing it on purpose, and you're stretching out the neck. You're trying to look like Debbie Gibson or something."
You can't even tell her how much you paid for it because, oh my gosh.
It was silly. But I get very obsessed with things.
Yeah.
And I see that in my son too. He's like obsessed with Funko Pops.
Yeah. I've seen, your son like loves horror stuff too.
Yeah, he's obsessed with horror movies, obsessed with everything horror, obsessed with Stranger Things. You know, his bar mitzvah theme is going to be a boom mitzvah, horror themed.
It's amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, so he's very into all that stuff, but I see it like how I am. Like he's just like obsesses over it, you know.
But I do like it when you see it in
him.
I
like it.
I think I love, I also feel like the feeling of like I need something to be special. If everybody's talking about it or everybody's wearing it, I don't want anything to do with it.
Yes.
And I feel like part of why I like stand-up is because nobody suspects that I would do stand-up, you know? And I feel
you're so good at it.
But thank you. I think that like, you know, out here as an actor for so long and like doing like comedy stuff, it's like I look like a blonde, petite, like
little wristed girl,
like little small wristed girl. But like I like going into like a waiting room with a bunch of like blonde actresses that I'm like up against and being like, none of them could handle like a stand-up club where like I like that. There's something in that makes me be like, they couldn't hack it in there. They couldn't go to this weird place. They wouldn't be able to do that. Like I think I like stand-up a lot because of that.
Oh yeah, it's similar with like a writer's room. When like you go into a writer's room, it can be very intimidating, and it is. But sometimes you know you're like, well, I also performed in a cafeteria at noon, and got milk thrown at me. So like no one's gonna do that here. So
totally.
It's really like the bar is so low for like what comedians have to go through that anything that you do, you know, other than that, you're like, I can handle this. You know, you have such a thick skin from all versions of it, just like psychotic people, weird situations, you know,
like
awful situations.
Egocentric people. Yeah, I feel like, there's so many. I also feel like cheerleading stuff too. When I moved here to do acting, everybody was like acting so hard. And I was like, well, I've like nearly died multiple times doing cheerleading. So I think I'm going to be better. Like acting is not going to be as hard as that.
What a weird life. It was like cheerleading with a bunch of psychotic people. Then it was acting with a bunch of psychotic people. And now comedy with severely psychotic people.
Yeah, I don't like normal people. I really don't like normal people. I like psychotic, eccentric people.
Is there anything similar in cheerleading than with stand-up?
Yes, I feel like every time I go like on stage to perform, a stand-up festival is exactly like a cheerleading competition.
Really?
Yes. Every time I'm at a festival, I'm like, this is so funny. This is like just like a cheerleading competition because they like everybody's like waiting to go on. Also at a festival, like everybody's going to do like their best, like whatever thing. So everybody like knows it's not like a normal show, you know, it feels so much more like polished and rehearsed and doesn't feel as like, you're not like doing normal stand up when you're.
And some people are wearing unitards.
Some people are wearing unitards. Some people are doing like weird stuff. Like I don't know. And there's like people in the audience like judging.
Oh yeah,
it feels so, and people are like nervous in a weird way that I'm always like, this is so funny. I feel like I'm at a cheerleading competition. It's so funny. It's so funny.
So weird.
It's weird. But I do think that I feel like with my kids, when I see them having like the thing that they become obsessed with, I like when it's like different than what everybody else is picking.
Well, it's passion. It's like, it's fun to see them being passionate about stuff.
Yeah, it's funny and like fun to be like, what are you so into? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he like reorganizes Funko Pops and looks at them and then like.
I don't even know what a Funko Pop is.
A Funko Pop is basically like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like a little toy from some other. I don't even know how do you.
Does it come in a ball?
It comes in a box.
Ball? Oh,
and they are sort of based on pop culture, you know. So it's like Stranger Things Funko Pops. They all have like the big heads. You've seen them before.
Yeah, they're like bobblehead kind of.
They're not bobbleheads, but they look like bobbleheads.
Yeah,
they don't bobble, but they're the big heads.
Yeah,
and paparazzi always has celebrities sign them because there's always there's so many celebrity Funko Pops. But they're all, just all anything that there is a thing of, there's a Funko Pop of, so there's like Saturday morning cartoon Funko Pops. There's Stranger Things Funko Pops. There's Freddy Krueger Funko Pops.
Whoa.
Seinfeld Funko Pops, all of it. Anything in pop culture, they've popped.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and your son just wants to buy all of them?
All of them.
Nice.
Especially the horror ones.
Is he old enough to will he go online and buy them?
He goes online and just looks at them. But he hasn't bought any online. But there's a Funko Pop museum in Hollywood that we've gone to 1 million times.
Oh my gosh, my daughter added something to the Amazon cart and then came down and told me that she bought something for herself on Amazon.
I know.
It was
it's
a
so
Jasmine
stressful.
princess costume.
It's so stressful with
it
them
was
on the internet.
in the cart, but it wasn't purchased yet. But I was like, I gotta deactivate this somehow.
Yeah, good luck. It's all terrible.
Yeah.
Every day my wife sends me an article about raising kids with the internet. I'm like, I don't know what to do. It's so stressful.
Well, everybody now, have you heard of these new what's the phone called? It's called
Tin Can.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter has one.
Oh, she has one?
Yeah, they're really cool.
I feel like some kids who already have phones too far gone. You can't put them back to a tin can phone.
But my kids don't have phones, and the tin can is cool. Abe doesn't really like it, but he doesn't have one. But the tin can, you just basically
call
you
other people. It's like a land. It's kind of like having a landline.
It is a landline, yeah.
And there's no video aspect of it, which I like because
and it rings all the time. Who's calling? She's always having people. She's rolling calls all day long. People are calling. I'm like, it's school.
Oh my gosh!
Is someone at home?
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah,
I know. I went to get her one, and they're sold out for 17 years or
I know,
something.
but I think
people
it's
were
cool.
Whoa.
I also feel like an Abe, he's very specific, but he's 12 and he's a very anti-AI, so I'm wondering if there's going to be sort of this backlash of these kids who are kind of hate the internet and hate phones and hate AI. I think maybe, I hope so. I feel like then by the time it gets around to my daughter's age and your youngest, they're going to be super into it again. Yeah, it's going to be bad. I feel like my daughter already is talking. Our Alexa updated itself to the AI Alexa, and she's talking to it the point where I had to be like, Penelope, Alexa is not your friend. And then she was like, yes, she is. She is crying that Alexa's her friend. And I finally was like, she's not your friend. And I was like, Alexa, you're not our friend. And Alexa goes, ouch. But I do try to have a friendly demeanor. And I was like, how do I get out of my house? I was like, I need this thing to turn off. I hate it. It's so stressful.
It's crazy. Yeah, I know. Okay, so let's go back to you and not our kids. You were doing stand-up in college, and then you came out to LA to do stand-up. Yes. Okay, so everybody graduated, and you're just everybody knew you were coming here to do stand-up.
Yeah, because I was in this comedy festival and won the competition as the funniest college comedian. So then because of that, I started basically touring colleges.
That's when you got NACA.
That's when I did NACA stuff. Yeah. So I left college with a NACA tour, which was really exciting.
That's cool.
So then so really stupidly, I moved to LA, but then I was basically performing in the mid-Atlantic region for 9 months. Okay. So I just kept on printing out MapQuest and flying home.
Yeah. It's back in the MapQuest days when we had printer directions. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. And then you just stayed in LA.
And I stayed in LA. Yeah.
Did you start writing?
Yeah.
Too?
I started writing a couple years after being here. Okay. I started doing the web series stuff, and that kind of led to writing scripts and selling stuff and staffing on shows and all that stuff.
That also I haven't heard the word web series.
Web series. It was before all of it. It was we would everyone was trying to figure out what this was going to be, And the early days, Comedy Central was doing digital shorts. Everyone was trying to do digital shorts, and we were just doing them because we were around to do them. And it was super fun, yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny. And then you had your own show.
Then I had my own show, which was really fun.
That's cool. Based on your family.
Based on my family. It was called Indebted. It was on during the pandemic when I was buying T-shirts.
That's why you had all that T-shirt money.
Yeah, all that T-shirt money. But we filmed it right in 2019, so it wasn't affected. So the actual filming and everything was super fun. Yeah. We never had to deal with that. I mean, I dealt with that when I worked another show and we were Zooming with masks and the whole thing. It was insane.
I know. I did a multicam during the pandemic and we had to wear masks and stuff during rehearsal.
Yeah.
And I remember the director would just come up to me and be like, what are you doing after he says that line? And I'd be like, I'm reacting kind of like, surprise. And she's like, okay, that sounds good. And I was like, oh my God, what are we doing?
Well,
like,
also,
I'm having to explain my expressions underneath my mask for when I take it off.
It was so weird.
Like,
Also, I mean, this is all boring pandemic stuff. But then it was the kind of thing where then you would basically go to like a run through and someone would have COVID and then everyone would be sent home. You're like, all right, well, I guess we'll start back tomorrow.
But
it was multicam, and I love working multicams.
Yeah, multicams are so fun.
Yeah.
They're so fun
they're
because
really
they're
fun.
also good schedules and fun to be on. And it feels like you're performing live.
Yeah, you're just
Like
like
the
with
best of
everyone.
both, yeah.
And I've been working on that show, Shifting Gears, and it's been really fun because we're all on. You're just like hanging out together, the cast and the crew and everyone. You kind of make the show the whole week, and it's fun.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Do your kids ever come and watch?
Yeah, they love coming because they were too young. Like during the Goldbergs and even my show,
Yeah.
they were like too young to like experience like being on set. But now they like love. They go to the audience. Romy's like fighting for Buzz Lightyear like t-shirts. I'm like, get out of here.
She loves a t-shirt too.
She loves a
like
t-shirt
you.
too. Yeah.
She's just like you.
Yeah, they get into the whole thing. They're dancing. They
so
love the warm up.
cute.
Yeah, they really come for the snacks.
Yeah.
And then they enjoy the show.
I feel like everybody comes for the snacks
Yeah, there's
and
nothing better than
enjoys the
snacks.
show. I
The
feel like
snacks.
everybody working there comes for the snacks.
Everyone,
Everybody's
the whole
there
show
for the
business
snacks.
is built on snacks and craft service.
It really is.
Yeah,
It really
that's
is.
why we need more production in LA and more snacks in LA.
Yeah, get
Yeah.
the snacks back.
Get the snacks back
You should make that T-shirt
and sell it
and sell
and
it.
auction it.
Yeah,
Get the snacks back.
Get the
That's
snacks
actually a
back.
good idea.
All right.
Okay.
You can have it
Okay, I'll
because I
take
won't
it.
do anything with it. I'll never make a T-shirt.
You won't bring the snacks back?
I can't make a T-shirt.
Really?
I don't think so. I don't
okay.
think I like know how to make a T-shirt.
Alexa?
She's like, I already made it. It's in your cart.
Penelope has purchased it.
From school. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's crazy. So right now, what you're up to is you're working on Shifting Gears.
Yeah, we're on hiatus right now, but yeah.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, but I was working on that and it was super fun.
Okay.
Really, really great.
What is that on?
It's on ABC
Okay.
and Hulu next day.
Nice.
But yeah, so that's been fun and, just sort of doing my thing, being in the valley, walking around, getting to go to Phil's Coffee.
Is that what you're just walking around?
Yeah, I love the valley. I love just to walk around.
Oh my gosh, Dan, you have 3 kids and you're like, and I just like walk around.
Well, they do stuff during the day.
Okay.
They're all in school.
Okay.
I don't homeschool my children. In case you thought I did, I don't. But they go to school, and then I just live my life.
You just like walk around.
I walk around. Don't you love Ventura Boulevard?
I do. Yeah. It's growing on me more.
Growing on you?
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm starting to like it more. I don't think I liked the stores they had on Ventura Boulevard for a while. I don't know. I just felt like
But things are coming in. I mean, I mentioned
you're
Phil's
such
Coffee.
a valley person. You're
I do.
such a valley person.
I do
feel
love
like
the valley. I swear, I love the valley so much. And what's funny is when I first moved to LA with my buddy AJ, he was like, where should we move? Should we go to Malibu or should we go to Venice? And I go, no. We have to be in Burbank. And he goes, why? I go, we have to be near Warner Brothers. And he goes, do we have jobs at Warner Brothers? I go, no, never. We never will. But we need to be by Warner Brothers because that's where all the action is. So AJ was in Chicago. He moved here before me. He got our entire apartment set up in Burbank. And then every time he tells someone that he moved to LA to live in Burbank, they're like, why are you in Burbank? Move to Venice. He's like, no, Dan said we got to be near Warner Brothers. And then I swear to God, I moved to LA in 2003. I did not work at Warner Brothers until last year for 6 months. That was it. And that might have been a wrap on Warner Brothers. I mean, I don't know. Now Netflix bought it.
Yeah.
So now I don't even know what's going to happen.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I do feel like Burbank is now apparently cool. Like people, like Molly is younger than us. And
Yes.
one of her younger friends was telling us that Burbank he had no idea that Burbank had like a bad rap as like not cool.
Well, I think Burbank's very cool.
Okay, well, I'm talking to the wrong person. I do feel like everybody's moving to Burbank now, though. But I do like the Valley. I've been here for almost 3 years, which is crazy. But I feel like when I moved over here from the east side, everybody was like, we have all the same restaurants as the East Side. Like everything's coming in, and I would go to the same restaurants as the East Side, like the cool restaurants. And it would be the same, but it'd have like cafeteria lighting and a 15-year-old with her family doing her makeup at the table next to me. Every restaurant. And
There is a lot of that. There is a lot.
They don't allow, like on the East Side, there's no teenagers at dinner.
They don't allow kids there, yeah.
There's no kids around and whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I have kids and stuff, but it's just funny to be like, this is the same,
but different.
but not the same.
Yeah, I guess I like how if you really just go down Ventura, it gets so weird. You know, there's still like a few stores that were like from the 80s that are just like so weird. But I enjoy it. I enjoy it. It gets a little hot, but overall, it's a great place to be.
It is good. But I think that okay. All right. We're at 45 minutes, Dan. I will say that the Ventura Boulevard, I think that a lot of the stores are fronts for like Russian mafia or something like that, because there's like, as you go down like further, there's so many of like the same store and they're just empty. And you're like, how are these a thing? This cannot be a thing. Yeah,
well, there's that weird store that's in between like Arts and Buck Mason that sort of they keep on painting it. And it was like the licorice pizza store.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? I was like, what is this? This is not a store.
Is
it's
it the
movie.
art gallery?
Yes, art gallery, but then it changes. It's kind of changing
right now
all the
it's
time.
like an art gallery with like Mickey Mouse art in the
I don't
window.
know what's going on there.
And every time we pass, my son's like,
Is that what he does?
And I'm like, I feel like this is so mean, but like my daughter, like I watched videos of my daughter at my son's age, he's a year and a half, and she was like, Mother, let's go into the Mickey Mouse store on Ventura Boulevard. And he's like,
my 4-year-old still can barely talk. Like, I don't understand. Like Abe, when he was like, same thing. He was like, I'm Abe. I play in LA. Like, that's what he was saying when he was like a month old. And these kids, no one else could talk in my family.
I don't know if it's because it's their first. I'm like, is it because it's the first kid and you just pay a lot of attention to them and they see. But I don't know. I think it's just who they are. And I think my son's really smart and like can communicate other ways. But I'm also like, I kind of like it like this.
Right.
Because the amount of verbal abuse I get from the other one, because she can speak so well, is like crushing me. I couldn't handle that coming from two directions.
Yeah, like my youngest kid started breaking out of her crib. So we had to put her into a bed last week. But the first night she did, she goes, I got me out. Like, okay. Well,
I got me out.
Got me out.
So funny. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know. So, wait, your youngest is how old now?
4.
Well, 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You're crazy.
And you're still doing stand-up too. You still do stand-up always.
Always, yes. I'm always doing stand-up in LA right now. I'm probably mostly performing at the Improv a lot on Saturdays.
Okay.
And then the Comedy Store. I do like a monthly-ish show at Largo. Mm-hmm. So.
Oh yeah, that show's so fun.
The
gossip
really fun.
show.
Yeah. So we did that. We're doing that show. And yeah, just kind of, and I really just will perform anytime, in LA. I always go. Yeah.
And then sometimes you go out of town.
And sometimes I go to town. Not all the time, but sometimes.
Okay.
How about you? Are you touring?
I'm starting to go out of town. We're like getting dates for me to go out of town. Yes. And I'm starting I was like, I want to go just to the places where I know I have people and like do it. Just because I have kids and stuff, I want to like kind of be a little like slower and intentional about where I'm going.
I think that's smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going to bring them with you? Or no? You're going to bring them with you or no?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I mean, unless I go somewhere where like it would be fun to bring them with or whatever.
Which
and
is
then
nowhere.
I took Benjamin when he was tiny a few times when he was like 2 months old with me when I went. And it was actually kind of nice because I feel like I didn't really know who he was because my daughter just like had such a hard transition, like having another kid around.
Right.
So I like took him there and like I feel like he was in a hotel with me. He got his own schedule that was like made for him. And he wasn't on her schedule. And he like started smiling, stopped crying as much. And I was like, oh.
And we just like leave him in the sound booth when you're on stage?
No, my mom. Yeah. I I was like, could somebody hold this guy for me? No, I feel like my dad came with me to Vegas with Benjamin once
fun.
when he was 2 months old.
Oh my God.
And we stayed at the Golden Nugget with the baby. Because the shows were downtown Vegas. And I was like, I need to be
was that
close.
the Vegas Comedy Festival?
It was like something like that. Yeah, some festival they do in Vegas. I can't remember what it was. Laugh After Dark. But anyways, my dad was with me. I did have to like run breast milk back to the Golden Nugget and then go back to the show at one
sure
point.
you
And
weren't
I was
the
like,
only one.
yeah, I was like, I'm sure I'm not the only one doing this right now. But yeah, that was a wild time to walk through like an incredibly smoky lobby with like a baby who's not even vaccinated yet. I was like, this is definitely my second child, not my first child.
That's awesome. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Do you have any dates? What cities you're going to?
I'm going to go to Houston, Austin, Dallas, Chicago, Seattle, I think, and then Nashville, maybe.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. This was so fun.
This is so fun. Thanks for
Thank
having
you
me.
for doing this. Where can people find you?
They can find me on Instagram, Dan
Okay.
Levy Show. And that's pretty much it.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thanks so much for doing this.
Thanks
This
for
was so
having
fun.
me.
Bye,
I love
guys.
being at your house with an unknown address.
Stop drawing attention to it. Okay, bye.
Bye.